totally agree. Sometimes I'd rather fly by the seat of my pants and run 100 miles an hour, but sometimes it works. Doesn't work for everyone, but it does work for quite a few. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to National Contracting's webinar, Running Your Insurance Business Like a Business. We are so happy that you're here. If everyone would put in chat where you're from, we'd love to hear from you, and we'll start calling out where you're from. My name is Julie Zimdars. I'm the Sales Development Manager for the Northern Tier of the U.S., and we are joined by our fabulous sales development team, our National Contracting Manager, Rachel Thomas, Danielle Byers, our ACA Specialist, and Angie Jones, who's also is Sales Development Manager for the Southeast. So let's get started. So welcome, everyone. So today's objective, if you're a 1099 agent, you're just not a producer, you're a CEO, the Sales Development Service Team, the Finance Department, and Chief Bottle Washer, believe it or not. So we want to help you change the mindset, shift that from producer to CEO. And the goal today is not to overwhelm you, but to help you grow your business and identify what needs to be tightened up and where we can help you simplify your business. All right, so it's chat time. In our chat window, does running your business scare or overwhelm you? So to get started, we'd like you to type in your answer in the chat window. We want you to be interactive as much as possible with us so that we can help you with growing and running your business. Sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's overwhelming. So go ahead and put in chat and see what you think. So Tanya said, can be overwhelming, but some of us run on that kind of energy. Oh, totally agree. Sometimes I'd rather fly by the seat of my pants and run full 100 miles an hour. But sometimes it works. Doesn't work for everyone, but it does work for quite a few. Key objective today is to understand the basics of compliant business organization, finances. We're not tax advisors, we're not attorneys, we're not financial planners, but the information we're going to provide you is not tax advice. It's from an operational standpoint. A proper 1099 business should look organized and intentional. So things to consider. Do you have a formal business structure? Are you a sole proprietor or an LLC? Do you have a separate business account? Or do you commingle your personal money with your business money? Are you tracking income and expenses? What's coming in versus what's going out? Do you review your commission statements regularly, or do you just kind of swing by the seat of your pants and look at the account when money's needed? Do you review records? Are you organized? So if you were ever audited by the Department of Insurance, the IRS, a carrier, are you organized? So what you want to think about consistently is business looks messy on paper, but it also feels messy in real life too. So one thing I've learned a long time ago is that repetition will be your greatest teacher. Depending on the mindset that you have, it actually takes 66 days to create a new habit and about 60 days to break an old one. So, but if you're consistent, business will grow. So tools of the trade. Your CRM, in all honesty, is not optional. If you want to sustain your business, you want to make sure that you store your client information securely, track every touch point, remind you to follow up when follow-ups are due, help with retention and compliance documentation. If the client information lives in your head, your inbox, or sticky notes, you don't have a system, you have stress. So when it comes to calendar and task management, time blocking versus reactive, being proactive versus reactive is so important. It helps protect sales time. It avoids living in reaction mode. High producers don't find time, they schedule priorities. Let me give you an example. When I was an agent, my field days were Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday was office day, Friday was cleanup day. There'll be days where you have to work on Saturday because that's the only day your customer can meet with you, or in late evenings. But if you have a schedule, it becomes repetition and it will just help you stay organized. When it comes to communication tools, do you have a phone system, an email organization, texting? When compliant, do you have your opt-ins, opt-outs? But if it's not written down, it doesn't exist. So let's talk about book review and financial awareness. There's an old saying, it's never about the money until it's about the money. Money anxiety usually comes from lack of clarity, not lack of income. You don't need to be an accountant, but you do need to understand reading commission statements, chargebacks versus renewals, tracking your monthly income versus expenses, knowing when your break even numbers, and planning for slow season cash flow awareness, what's going in versus what's going out, and then what are you doing to cross sell to make up for those slow seasons? Because if you don't track, you don't have control.
And you know what, Julie? I did have something to say on this. Um, One of the strangest questions we get sometimes, and maybe it's strange to us because this is the world that we live in every day, is so many agents join and choose this opportunity because of the financial success that can come with it, but yet they don't know even where to get their commission statements from. So, if anyone on here is struggling with how much do I get paid? When do I get paid? Where are my commission statements? Touch base with your sales development manager. Every one of these insurance companies that you guys are contracted with gives you your very own producer portal. And in those portals are all of your commission statements. There's calendars that you can download that tell you when the carrier pays on what types of, business. So there's a lot of information in there. So getting organized and just knowing where to go. It might also be helpful that your very first commission statement you get, just download it and touch base with Julie or Danielle or Angie or Alec or Titus and review it with them, just so that you understand how the money ebbs and flows and how you can track it. Because I'm sure we'll probably go into this, but this is money that you will be 1099'd on. So you're going to have to pay taxes on this. So just things to consider and just a reminder that, we're here to help you understand all that.
Thank you, Rachel. All right, so let's go over workflow optimization simply to scale. Mapping a basic client lifestyle. So you go from lead to appointment to enrollment to follow-up to retention. And what does that retention look like? Are you conversating with your customer on the third day, 30 day, 60, 90 day? What kind of conversations are you having? And how often do you follow up? Identifying bottlenecks. If you reinvent the process every time, you're working harder than you really need to. And as I mentioned earlier, repetition is the greatest teacher. So creating repeatable workflows will give you efficiency and optimization. And of course, using checklists and templates. How many of you use sticky notes? And there's a commercial on TV where the sticky note blob follows this person all over their work life. And it's from money to think tasks they have to do, and the sticky notes are falling. So you want to create checklists and templates to help you with consistency and efficiency. And of course, consistency beats complexity every time.
Hey, Julie, I was just thinking of one thing. This is Danielle, by the way. I worked for an agent for many years, an older gentleman, back when we had paper files. Um, but he had a repeatable workflow, like you say. He could look and pick up a folder that was 100 pages deep and thumb through it and say, you're missing the E&O certificate, you're missing this, you're missing that, because his folders were built in the exact same order. What
Yep.
went on the front, what went on the back. So that is always really important. He didn't have to thumb through 100 pages. He could just flip it like a deck of cards and tell you exactly what you were missing.
Absolutely. Thank you, Danielle. So let's talk about annual planning, goal planning. And most agents have goals, but they don't have plans. Usually the goals are kept up in the brain, if you will. And instead of saying, I want to make more money, try this. What's my revenue growth for the year? How many enrollments does that require? How many appointments per month? What activities drive those appointments? Break your year into AEP, off-season education planning. And one thing that I did as an agent, which really helped me, my goal was to get to 15 to 18 appointments a week. And I had a really wonderful person who was my manager who hired me say to me, how much do you want to make? How much do you need to make to pay the bills? And how many applications is it going to take to get there? You break it down per week, per month, per quarter, 6 months, 1 year. So if you're breaking down to get to the goal of 15 to 18, let's say 10 of those appointments show, and you will submit 5 customers. Well, with those 5 customers, you have the potential of 6 to 8 applications per household for a husband, wife, or partner. If they're selling Medicare Advantage, you're selling hopefully hospital indemnity, final expense, and of course it's based on the need of the customer as you're uncovering need. If they have a high history of cancer in their family, if you're selling a Medicare supplement. So we've got a med sup, we got a dental, we've got a final expense. Do we have a short-term home health care plan? So there's all these things that you can do. But as you're driving growth, you want to get to that point where you're doing the 15 to 18 appointments and the apps that generate to make the money that you want to make. And then, of course, you want to add 20% for drop off, for chargebacks, things like that, customer buyer remorse, things like that. But you want to identify growth opportunities, plan for AEP, off-season activity, education and marketing time. One thing in your NCC agent portal is a really great checklist to help get yourself organized for the upcoming AEP season. So one of the best things that we can recommend is staying educated and future-proofing your business. Staying educated means keeping up with the carrier changes, understanding compliance updates, improving your sales skills, learning how to run a business better, staying licensed at a minimum, or is a minimum, I should say. But staying educated is how you stay competitive. The best way to do that is get with your sales development managers for one-on-one training, attend webinars like this in your NCC agent portal. There's all kinds of training videos available so that you can watch them on demand through our YouTube channel. But also important is your carrier training websites as well. Make sure you have access to those so that you can learn the products that are available. One thing about education, if you have it, that's something that no one can take from you.
And I'd also like to say that in this Medicare Advantage or Medicare world, you have to be prepared to be a perpetual student. You'll be a student forever. The collective sales managers you have here at NCC, we've probably got 100+ years of experience in this, and I've been doing it myself for 19 years. Um, I learn something new every day, every week, from supporting agents to keeping up with industry standards and compliance. You know, you're always going to be learning. So if you're hungry for information, this is a great business to be in. You can rely on NCC to be an information highway, but you also have to be a seeker. You have to be willing and wanting to be a sponge and learn as much as you can. But at the same time, don't let the volume of information hold you back from selling. um, you're always going to be learning something new. So don't let the fact that you don't maybe feel like an expert yet hold you back from diving in and taking those steps to sell. A lot of the agents that we have, our biggest hurdle is their confidence. And just getting out there and ripping the band-aid off to make that first sale. You're going to get better. It's going to get more comfortable. It's going to be second nature sooner than you think, but you got to dive in and do it in order for that to progress.
One thing I want to add to that too, myself personally, I have 30 years experience in the industry for Medicare and long-term care. I myself been in the field and am a subject matter expert in long-term care insurance. So it can be done. This is a marathon, it's not a race. So it's going to take time, but consistency and repetition will help you, and being organized will help you as well. A little bit of tenacity thrown in there. But I got to the point where I had a six-figure income selling, and it's because I did my due diligence, I did my education, I went out and did all the training that I could. I became a sponge, a chameleon to the industry. And I know you can too. Every one of us can. So when we put it all together, we're going to treat this role, it's your career. It's not a job, it's your career. And it's a business. So we have to start thinking like business owners. Systems create freedom, not restrictions. Tools protect your time and income because your time is of value. What you have to say to customers is of value because you're bringing solutions to them. Protect your time, protect your income. Planning reduces stress, and of course, it increases consistency by repetition as well. Call to action. What I'd like you to think about this month is identify one system that you can improve this month to help your business. Schedule a monthly business review with yourself, or if you have a partner, or if you have a confidant, or a spouse, get your spouse involved. Some of the greatest agents, their spouses are very involved with their business. One gentleman that I worked with who came from he was a fishmonger on the East Coast, didn't know anything about Medicare, and is I want to say, a multi-million dollar agent, very successful in the business. And I know you can too. It just takes time. But commit to operating like a CEO. Let's start thinking like a business owner, not just a producer, because this is your career. You have unlimited potential. The world is at your feet. It's up, of course, it's up to you to make that happen, but we are all here to support you for that. Every one of us, all of your sales managers, all of us combined have over 100 years experience in the field. All right, so if you would, go ahead and register for our next event. You can use the QR code. If you don't are not able to do that, then you want to go to your NCC agent portal and log in, of course, accept the cookies. Go to your dashboard and click on next event calendar. It's in a little orange box, but we would love to see you at our next event. And of course, here is the sales development team. We have Angie Jones in the Mid-South region, myself, Rachel Thomas, our National Sales Development Manager, Danielle Byers, our ACA guru, Titus Cunningham in Georgia, and Alec Hayden in Florida in the Southwest. Every one of us are here to support you.
We really want to have time today to ask any business questions. Do you have any questions about what's the best CRM, or what are some tools that we suggest? Any of those types of questions, feel free to unmute yourselves. Does anyone have any questions? Any concerns? I mean, again, this is just a really great forum to hear from your peers, to ask questions. If you're thinking it, I guarantee you somebody else on here is thinking it as well. And anybody on the sales development team, if you've got words of wisdom, comments, advice, feel free, speak up.
I'd like to know by show of hands or in chat, how many agents on the call have an actual CRM that they're working with? Some of the best CRMs that agents use, you may not know which CRM would be best suited for you. Of course, get with your sales managers, but I have found that agents are working with Agency Block, HubSpot, Medicare Pro, Salesforce. So it depends on what fits your overall business. How many of you belong to Medicare Agent Hub? It's a subscription it's a consumer-based website to help generate leads. How many of you work with that vendor? Anyone? Kind of
I
switching
do
gears.
want to give a plug for Medicare Agent Hub. One of the agents I work with, he was on just the free registration and he was getting 6 or 8 leads a year, which isn't a
Mhm.
lot, but he did the paid subscription to get bumped to the top. And he got his first lead within 24 hours of doing that and has been getting them continuously. So that is a really good tool.
And it's reimbursable by MAP.
Yep, it is.
And agents are selling those leads too, even on the free version.
It's worth it.
Definitely. How many of you have, if you're thinking about starting an agency, have you started that process? Have you applied for a tax ID? Do you have a business name? Have you applied for a DBA or a license through your state Department of Insurance? Anybody started that yet? Anybody build a business plan? I have an agent in the attachments, by the way, in this chat. There's 3 attachments for takeaways. There's one for a business planning. It's a very simple business outline template. There's also a cost guide, what to expect in your as you renew your licenses, and if you have any expenses that you are afraid to incur, this will give you a kind of an idea of what those expenses would look like. And then I put together a roadmap for agents who maybe have a part-time job or a full-time job elsewhere and they want to transition to the insurance business and they're not quite sure how. This is kind of like a roadmap to get you started. So those 3 takeaways, please feel free to download those as well. But I had an agent one time give me a 28-page business plan, and it was right down to the market analytics for the next 5 years. It was very thorough, and he was a life insurance agent going into Medicare, a very successful agent. Doesn't have to be 28 pages, it can be as simple as one, but we all have to start somewhere because all of us here were new at one time. So our philosophy here is everyone's a student, everyone's a teacher. So we would love to learn more about you and how we can help you grow your business. That's wonderful, Tanya. Congratulations. Um, Lead sources in chat, we can do one better. I can put together the information and send it to you through email. Anybody else have questions, comments?
I love seeing the LLC. I think that's wonderful. I might be late to commenting on that, Miss Tanya, but I think that's great. Julie mentioned commingling. Um, it's never a good idea, in my opinion, to commingle. Having yourself with your business set up separately from you is really great for your succession planning long term, starting out on the right foot. Think about all the things that life throws at us. I hope this doesn't happen, but what if for some reason you had to sell your book of business at some point? Maybe I'm going to win the lottery. Oh God, would that not be nice? And I'm going to be a gazillionaire and I don't need this insurance business anymore. I'm going to sell it. It keeps things nice and neat and ready for you. We also don't know, and this will speak to Julie's life insurance. We don't know what tomorrow brings. And if you have a solid succession plan in place, it really is beneficial to your family that this business, this money is separate from you and it can be sold. So that's something that we will educate on in the future is true succession planning, which, is it's your parachute so that others don't have to deal with, what are we going to do with this if something happens? So,
Rosemarie has a question. She's mentioning she uses Agency Block for herself in the agency, and
yeah.
she's asking for links. I'd be happy to put those links of resources in the email, Rosie.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so funny, the CRM usage. So a CRM is only as good as the information that you're willing to put into it. We operate on a CRM, of course, here at NCC, and we wouldn't be able to keep our heads straight with anything if we didn't put the information in there. So the CRM is basically another safety net for you. You will always know what's happening with your clients. You'll be able to pull reports. If you wanted to do a direct mail piece, you could pull address lists. If you wanted to know birthdays, birth dates, you could pull lists by birth date. It just makes your life so much easier. The days of filing cabinets are behind us. There's a ton of different types of CRMs out there. Julie's going to send you a whole list that it runs the gamut of technology options. There's some that are super fancy that do a lot of marketing for you. There's some that are a little bit more financial and focused more on tracking business. So, really do your research, and all of these companies will do demos for you. So, when you get your list of suggestions, schedule a demo with the company. They usually take about 20 minutes. These people are trying to sell stuff just like we are. So, have some patience with that, but really attend multiple demos and really think about what it is that you want. And of course, NCC's here. So make your notes on what did you like about this? What did you not like about it? Because I have seen agents who have starry eyes over all the real fancy things that it does, but you have to have the realistic mindset. Am I going to really be using all of this stuff? Because it's on you, the agent, to, if it's going to email blast for you, you still have to proactively set those email blasts up. Nobody's doing it for you. It's a feature of the program, but you are the person who has to use it. So just think about that and call your sales development manager. Tell us the pros and cons. We'll help you figure out what might work best for you. So all really great things to consider is just starting out on the right foot, those repeatable processes that will only benefit you into the future.
I want to say thank you so much to everyone who did attend our presentation today. We do appreciate the time that you spent. We value your time, and we do thank you so much for your business and your continued partnership. And again, don't forget to register for our next upcoming event, as well as our Wisdom Wednesdays and town hall meetings. And again, your sales managers are more than happy to help you with anything that you need here at NCC. All of us are here to support you. So we hope you have a great day, and we thank you so much.